You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
Welcome to the weekly Mopcast, your look at what's happening in pop culture and what's going on in the Mopcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Mopcast Network or on Facebook at facebook.com/Mopcast Network. Now here are your hosts, Scotty and Stephanie.
Welcome to a very special episode of the weekly Mopcast. Woo! I like Caleb's woo. This is predates Caleb.
Woo,
yeah,
I know.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always,
Countess Stephanie, your lady of libations.
And we have producer Caleb in his very first episode of the weekly Mopcast.
Oh, yeah.
The weekly Mopcast is an old format from the show, and it's kind of what we use for special topics, and today is a special topic. The three of us went and experienced Pensacon.
Yes, we did.
2022. And we want to tell you all about it because we had a blast. It was,
so much fun.
it's a week later. I'm still tired.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm tired, but I've had Mardi Gras on top of Pensacon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right. Which we'll
you've
talk
been
about at
busy.
the cult meeting.
Yeah.
Because you still got more Mardi. By the time we get to, back to cult meetings and the cult movie cantina,
Mardi Gras will be over. Thank God.
Well, we're kind of on a Mardi Gras Pensacon hiatus, but we will be back next week after next, something like that. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about this later because it happens in this episode. But if everything goes right, we'll have a new episode of Cult Movie Cantina this week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping. Well, it depends on scheduling. But we all had different Pensacon experiences. I have been a moderator for Pensacon for 3 or 4 years now. It's kind of hazy. I got to go back and look. But
Well, it's because we missed a year. Did we? Or we did?
no, we haven't missed a year. I've been doing it every year since 16.
No, I meant didn't Pensacon not happen one year?
No.
No.
Oh, it didn't?
No, they just had
It was
they
moved.
had it later.
It was
It was
in
May
May.
it was May
That's
last year.
right.
Yeah.
It was late.
Yeah, because,
it was weird.
because 2020 when the pandemic happened, it was right before.
Right
everything.
before the pandemic, and then they pushed it out a little
Yeah.
bit. That's what messed me up because it was my birthday weekend last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and it was. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So like 2020, it was like literally right before because for me it was I went.
Okay, so I think
See,
you've
2020 we
been
did-
moderating 3 years then.
I want to say I think I started at 18. Yeah, I started in 18.
Okay. Then 4 years.
Yeah, I had it before because I did 18. I did. That's where I met Andrew Goska, and that's where I met Dana. I can't think of her name. She was in Ash vs. Evil Dead. I did that year.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the following year, I did the artists game show stuff. I did a bunch of artists, and then the last 2 years, I've done
Okay.
celebrity stuff. Okay,
Cool.
Yeah.
we're getting there.
All right.
4 years, yay! We figured it out. Not that it's important; it's just important
Yeah.
to me. So yeah, I've been moderating for 4 years, and so I had a fun experience doing that. And I'll talk about that soon. And then this year they needed some help, so I suggested my good friend, the Lady Libations, and so this was her first year moderating.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to hear all about that. And Caleb was, he was just as a guest. He
The
was
man
just,
about
I was-
town.
I
he was
was
the man
out
about
and
town.
about.
So
Yeah,
we all
out-
have different experience.
Out and about, getting some footage for us and
And
some
that's what
photos.
We'll play through the whole
Yeah.
episode. So let's start with you, Steph.
Okay.
How was your Pensacon experience overall?
Overall, I really enjoyed it. It was I had a lot of anxiety this year before Pensacon because I had not moderated before, and I was given my schedule, and it was a list of authors I had not read. So that I like to be super prepared, and I usually over prepare. So and on top of Pensacon, I'm in a Mardi Gras organization, so I also had to prepare for that, which was the day after Pensacon.
Oh yeah.
So it was really stressful until after my first panel. And then after my first panel, I was fine, and it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Met some lovely people. A few of the authors that I met, I really like talking with. And so I've decided that this year now, every author that I met and interviewed. I'm going to read a book of theirs before the next Pensacon.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So maybe more than one if I like their material. Some of this stuff is not really in my normal wheelhouse,
Right.
But I
You
figured
can
I'd
branch
give it a
out.
try.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I got to do a celebrity panel on the big stage.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, in the last minute because one of the other moderators was sick, and I was literally walking to watch one of your panels and got stopped by Wes and said, "Hey, do you mind filling in to do this?" So I did a celebrity panel on the big stage with two voice actors who I have no idea who they were. Because they were, they're my kids are older than these guys, and did anime.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
see. Hold on, I got their names. It was awesome.
I
So
think
let's play a game. Does Caleb know them?
Yeah, there you go.
if not, I can try to guess the show at
Here we
least.
go. Zach Aguilar and Kellen Goff.
That would probably be for Demon Slayer.
Yes, it was.
Caleb,
Very good. The
Because he's a
audience
baby.
was full of preteen to teenage girls.
Yep. Yeah. that tends to be a lot of Demon Slayer's audience. It has a wider audience. Like I know a lot of people that like that show. It's on my list, but
It was great. They were kind of, the guys were goofy.
So is Caleb trying to say he's our teenage girl?
He's our teenage girl.
yeah.
He is.
You know what?
He'll take
I'll
it.
take it.
Yeah, he'll take it.
So show with the big pigtails and
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was, the whole auditorium was filled, and it was really not a whole lot of me interviewing the guys because I had a line of people for questions before we got on stage.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, the celebrity
you did
Q&As are pretty easy for that
because
because
you did the Luna, right? So that's in.
No, this was at the
that?
same building I was in.
okay, so that'd be the
Oh, that was the Little Theater.
main stage of Little
Yeah,
Theater.
main stage of Little Theater.
which is a big venue.
Yeah. It's a pretty big venue, so
cool.
it was fun. But some of the authors I met your friend Andrew Gasca.
Yeah.
and he's really super nice.
Future podcast guest.
Yes,
Who when I filled in for a panel for you when he was on it, and he walked in the room and he looked at me and goes, and first, like one of the first things out of his mouth was, Stephanie says you do a podcast. Why haven't I been on it? And I was like, dude, you're kind of busy. I didn't know you wanted to be on it.
I was pimping our podcast everywhere. That's what you do.
Yeah, so future podcast guest. So
that'd be fun. I'd love to have a couple of these guys.
Well,
Rick Hines was one of my favorites out of all of them. He's a huge vampire gamer. Like really, really into vampire, and so we talked a lot about that. And he's just funny and smart and just super interesting. And he lives in Chicago. He's actually an electrician in Chicago.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Nice state. Good work.
but he's has written a lot. He's written for games, and he's written novels. So sounds really interesting. Everybody was just great. Got a lot of compliments. One of the authors, Michelle Corey, I think was her name. Hold on, I got to go back for all my notes. I have so many notes.
Yeah, she walked in with notes.
Yeah, Michelle Corey. Yeah, the one that I told you that would be my spirit animal because
Right.
she likes bourbon and coffee and whatnot. She was fantastic, and she came up to me after the last panel. I had a couple of panels with her. After the last one, she goes, I just want to thank you. You asked, and she couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what the question was, but she says you asked a question that was just really, really. I had to think about really hard to answer. And she goes, "That's awesome." She
Should exchange info. You could have had a new best friend.
So anyway, I know how to get in touch with these people.
Yeah, get her on the podcast.
But I had a great time. There were so many other, interesting authors that I met, but it was much less stressful once I got rolling, and now I'm better prepared for next year. My only negative
criticism Yeah.
were the shirts. Not so much that we had to wear matching shirts or we had to wear collared shirts, but the fit was really off. I felt sloppy, and I hated that.
Yeah,
Because now I know if if they do it next year that I have to wear like a small or an extra small because it was just huge.
right. It was just the wrong size, and it's
It
just,
was. I felt really sloppy.
But This year they want Pensacon wanted moderators all to match, which is fine.
Yeah.
And
Got no
they were
problem
okay
with that.
searches. It's kind of a last minute decision. None of us really prepared for it. It was just like,
and I hadn't worn a polo in ever,
Right.
you know, so I don't know how they fit,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of celebrity panels. I was in the Museum of Commerce this year, and and they were open Friday and Sunday. They had an event on Saturday. The Museum of Commerce is this great little space that's looks like old time Pensacola.
It's really cool.
Or Mayberry. It's
it's the inside looks like outside.
right. Inside looks like outside, and so it's got all these like fake shops, and so it looks like a set.
It does. It looks like a movie set. It
or a
looks like
place,
you're walking down the street and you have all these shops.
There's a gas pumps, like old timey, like the standing ones, and there's a trolley, and there's got working like traffic lights and stuff. It's a really neat space, and so it's so far my favorite space to work in. And so I'm hoping next year if we do this again, I'm going to request it because it's a really fun space. I wanted to do something different. We had us in chairs. I want to do a table, and I want to put a picnic table, like the checkerboard kind of tablecloth over it, and make it really homey. And
that's cute.
I got a cute idea for it.
I liked it with just the chairs.
I did too, but I want to try something different every year.
Yeah.
And so we've done chairs twice. I want to do something different, and I like having a table to put drinks and stuff.
I didn't have an option. We just had a big long table because I had authors on.
Well, yeah, and that's usually what they do. But I think I think next year I'm gonna, because there were tables in the back. There's stuff we could have used.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with it. I just I'm trying to think like what's different, and I'm kind of like, I want that kind of like we're outside together at the picnic.
You know what your
kinda
chairs
feel.
reminded me of? The episode of Seinfeld where Kramer bought, was it the set to the Merv Griffin show?
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
all
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there.
They were-
So that's it. But I like that.
They were very
That's
comfortable.
awesome.
They were very
Oh
comfortable.
yeah,
They were
I could tell.
They were very comfortable. I did so Friday. I did if I can remember them in order, which probably won't happen. I did Marta Kristen, who was Judy Robinson in Lost in Space.
You should have made notes.
I did, but I didn't bring them. Actually, they're on this computer, and I hadn't opened it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, she was Judy Robinson in Lost in Space. She was Lorelai the Mermaid in Beach Bingo. She worked with Hitchcock, and so fascinating career. She was an orphan. Her mother was a comfort woman, from what I understand, to a Nazi officer or a soldier.
Jeez.
And then they hid her because she was a blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl, and they were like, "Well, the Nazis are going to want
Was
this."
she born in Germany then?
Austria, I think, or Norway, one of those places.
Yeah.
And she tells it in the story. And then they got her to an orphanage, and then she was adopted and brought to the United States. And then that's her adopted parents her father was a philosopher professor, and then was on a sabbatical with the family in Los Angeles. And that's how she got to Hollywood.
Nice.
It's a cool story. The cool thing is we recorded all of the celebrity panels that I did, and throughout the month of March and into April, I think it's in April, we're doing 2 a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays you'll get one of the panels. The Marta Christensen is up now. I posted it on Friday, so
Nice.
It's up now. And so I had her, and then I had Tara Reid from American Pie and The Big Lebowski and Sharknado 1 through 5. She's been in all those. She was lovely and wonderful, and but brief. So that whole panel is 16 minutes.
Oh, God.
She walked in. She said, "Hey, as short as possible." I said, "No problem," because these celebrities, I mean, they make money at the table. So
Right.
away the table is money they're not making. So. But the flip side is like, what's advertising? So people are
Yeah.
seeing you, and they'll go to
You go to do tables.
after,
Yeah.
especially if you like them. But that's neither here nor there. But she was lovely, absolutely lovely. So she was fun. And then I did the wrestlers, LBJ and Ron Simmons, who were part of the APA.
I was there for that.
And-
Caleb and I were there for that.
Yeah, we watched that
And
one.
if anyone knows me, I have a very minimum understanding of wrestling. and I hope I faked it well.
You did really
Yeah, I
well.
think, yeah.
And you really
But
didn't have
I'm
to do
also
a lot
not.
because I feel like Ron Simmons was going to talk anyway. He
Oh yeah,
was
it's
very
great.
Yeah.
He was absolutely
He
great.
was great.
They were having a good time.
They were a great time.
And I told Jamie I saw him and he was very excited.
So that was really fun. And then I did Steve Whitmire, who is Kermit the Frog after Jim Henson died, and he was Kermit the Frog from like '91 until 2016.
Until
or
he got in
so.
trouble.
Well, he didn't get in trouble. He just got fired.
Right.
There was no trouble.
That's what I mean.
There was no trouble. Disney was like,
Yeah.
"We're going to do something else," and he's like,
Yeah,
huh?
it was just disagreement.
Right.
Disney. I think Disney just didn't want to pay as much. I mean, he's been doing it so long, and I think there's a pay issue. I'm not sure 100%. But on that note, he was absolutely wonderful because he's a Muppet, and I just think Muppets can be jerks. I think there's not a jerk bone in him.
What does he do now?
He has his own show called The Cave In with Wendell, the IT guy, and it's the IT is for Internet Troll.
Okay.
And so he's a troll puppet.
Nice.
And he basks in misery. It's a call-in show. It airs once a month, and you call in and you to talk about your miseries, and he eats it up and loves it.
Oh, God.
And commiserates with you. And so I watched a couple episodes. It's cute. Brian O'Halloran from Clerks.
I love him, yeah.
And Jeff Aronson have both done episodes.
Nice.
And so, it was great. He talked about his career. He talked about working on Labyrinth and on The Dark Crystal.
I didn't realize he'd worked on all those.
Yeah, he
Wow.
worked on all that stuff. And I mean, he's been working with Henson since like '76 or something.
Right.
And then I brought up. As a moderator, we all do research on these,
Right.
and I try to find nuggets that they've never talked about or haven't talked about in public. And so I remembered a Christmas special from 1986 called The Christmas Toy that he had a part in, and it's Toy Story before Toy Story.
Nice.
And he noted that we went to Pixar and we were like, we did this first. But a quick synopsis: it's a little boy has a bunch of toys that come to life, just like and they're all new puppets that are the new Muppets that are the toys. And however, if a toy is found out of place, they're frozen forever, and so they basically die.
Oh, God.
And so it's Toy Story meets Twilight Zone for children. So, and it's kind of dark and
Wow.
kind of twisted. And the main character is a bunny rabbit who was last year's favorite toy. So he's Woody.
Yeah.
Basically the Woody. And he wants to put himself in a Christmas gift. So when the little boy opens it up,
It'll be a new toy.
He'll be the new toy. And they're like, no, that's not how that works. You're going to die if you do that. You'll be frozen forever and we'll lose you. And there's a whole thing about it. And so it's on Netflix. Netflix or Amazon Prime, one or the other, but you can watch it. It's and I think there's some clips on YouTube, but it's really weird and dark and fun. And he had a blast talking about it because he goes, no one ever mentions this. And I'm like, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
so he was fun. And then I ended with Jeffrey Kramer, who
Okay.
was the deputy in Jaws, most famously.
Right.
And turns out he left acting behind and became a TV exec. And so he helped create the X-Files.
Oh, wow.
So we talked about that, which was cool. And then he produced Ally McBeal and The Practice and a bunch of those David E. Kelly shows. And
Nice.
just had a blast talking about it. He was really cool. And just what could have been like a quick little, hey, I was in Jaws kind of, because I've been in some of those
Yeah.
panels. So that's you've done one or two things, and there's not much a lot to talk about. Like, how was it working with Roy Schreiber, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It turned into like this really kind of masterclass on producing.
Yes.
And there's
Nice.
like 3 or 4 people in the audience, and we just all ate it up. It was real fun.
Nice.
And then Sunday, I had Ernie Reyes Jr., who was in The Last Dragon. He's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2. He's in The Rundown with The Rock. He's in Rush Hour 2. He's in a bunch of stuff, but he's a little martial arts kid. He's been doing it forever. And he was fascinating. And at the end of it, I'd known about this, but I didn't realize how soon it was. He had a kidney transplant. I thought he had a kidney transplant like
Years ago?
No, he had it like in November.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
So this was his first convention back from the kidney transplant.
Jeez.
And he was great spirits. Great. I mean, he's wonderful. And so that was cool. We got that. I had Taryn Manning, she was on Hustle and Flow, which I think she should have been nominated for an Oscar, and I told her that.
Yeah, I love her.
She's great. She's in Orange is the New Black. She's in Sons of Anarchy.
She's hilarious in Orange is the New Black.
And she's a wonderful musician. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she has a go to her YouTube page.
So what's her accent? I didn't get to see. That's the one I was going to go watch.
She kind of she doesn't sound. I mean, she's from Arizona. She doesn't sound country, but you can hear some.
She has a little bit of a twang.
Something in there's a little bit in there.
Okay.
And I think she agrees. I was like, she's been terribly typecast as these meth heads. Like her whole career has been prostitutes, and she's like, I'm just so tired of dying and stuff. And I hope someone gives her a chance to be. She's super talented, but she plays those roles. And I told her, I said, you play these roles so well, and so.
And she allows herself to, in Orange is what I'm trying to say. In Orange is the New Black. She's not cute.
No.
I mean, they make her look like a meth head,
right?
With the nasty teeth
and
the whole thing. The whole thing. And so, she really gets into those roles, and she doesn't let. To be able to allow yourself to become unattractive, and
she's beautiful.
Is a lot.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is in real life. She absolutely is.
She's very short.
Oh yeah, you could tell she's tiny.
Interesting side note about it. She's a devout Christian, and she's a devout Christian because she kept getting roles where we're like characters were turning to religion, and she started reading. She goes, "Hey, there's something to this," and I thought that was great. I was like, "Hey, wow, that's kind of interesting." After a while, you start reading enough, and then you're like, "Oh, it starts clicking." And she was like, "I don't mean to preach." I'm like, "Honey, it's Sunday. I just
you
go.
Do you.
You do you." It was a fun panel, and so she has a fascinating career. And then I did. So I mentioned I'm not a wrestling guy.
Mm-hmm.
However, my next panelist turned me into a fan of her immediately. She's a wrestler called Ruby Soho, and she's from AEW. She used to be on WWE as Ruby Riott, and so she's this tatted up punk rock chick. Oh my God, she's the sweetest person on the planet. Just, I like adorable, like a doll or an action figure. I just want to keep.
I have no idea who she is.
And you would she would automatically be like your new best friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, like I'm looking. Drew's really into wrestling and AEW.
Right.
I'm gonna hooking up with Drew. Like, how do I watch this? Because I don't have TV, so I'm trying to figure. It's on TNT and stuff. I got to figure out how to get the signal.
We have streaming. So
I got to figure if I can stream them because
wouldn't there be like YouTube? Maybe?
I mean, I can watch matches on YouTube, but I'd like to watch the show. So she was a WWE star, and then WWE had in the last year have done a range of like firings,
yes,
because of COVID, quote unquote,
yeah.
And she was one of these casualties. She's one of these people who got fired, and she was kind of listless for a little while, and AEW picked her up, and she can't use the name Ruby Riott because WWE owns the name.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she wanted to keep Ruby because she's a big fan of Rancid, the song Ruby Soho.
Right.
Turns out Lars of Rancid is a huge fan of wrestling.
Nice.
And found out about her and her situation, and he has a podcast, and he called her on the podcast as a guest, and she had not done any press between the time she was fired until before AEW. She's social media silent. And so but when Lars calls, you like Lars calls me, I'm on that show, same thing. Mm-hmm. And so, because love Rancid, and so they're talking about the name with him and her and their other guests, and he's like, so we know you can't take the Ruby Riott name, so what are you thinking about? She's like, well, I really want Ruby because Ruby Soho. And he goes, hold on a second, pulls out his phone and texts the other guys and asks if she can use the song. The song.
They're fine with it.
And she was you can watch it on YouTube how she is trying not to just utterly explode inside. And she's trying to keep it together, but she's not.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh my God. It's great. She has had a fascinating career. She owns a farm in Ohio and raises horses.
Oh wow.
She has 2.5 horses.
2.5.
She has a little miniature horse named Jelly Bean, and just like you see her, she's just rough and tumble. I mean, she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Plus, she's tatted up. I mean, she is like.
So what did she do before wrestling? It
No,
must be something athletic. I would think. No.
So, and this is in the. This was in my research. I called her out on it. She was in college to be a choir teacher.
Oh wow. Well, okay.
And then she found backyard wrestling, and she's been wrestling since then. Seriously, that's so she's been wrestling since like early like 2008.
Okay.
And then did the indie circuit and got it.
Yeah.
But it's that interview is going up this week, so because I really liked it, I wanted to push it out. She's really fascinating. Like seriously, I kept going. Oh gosh, she should just hang out with us.
That would be awesome. That's kind of how I felt about Rick Hines. And
she's kind of our people.
I hate to say I have favorites out of everybody because everybody was so nice.
Right.
But yeah, the Rick Hines was like that. It's like, man, I just want to game with them.
Right.
I want to hang out and game with them, and it would just be so much fun.
We can always get him on.
And he told these stories about being an electrician in Chicago, and he tells this one story that he was he does a lot underground,
right?
And he was underground, and it was pitch black, and he's at the control box or whatever, trying to feel for the control box, and all of a sudden he opens up the control box and feels this just rush of water just pour all over him, and he's like, it's like, where's this water coming from and whatever. And he had a guy with him trying to get some light, and he gets a light going. Wasn't water. It was a sea of cockroaches that fell out of the box, and he's like freaking out, and it was like, it was awful. He said it was just awful.
My pants would be full of pee, and I would quit my job.
And then he went home and wrote a novel about it.
I would. Yeah. I guess
our story.
I guess it's cheaper.
Whatever he wrote about it.
I guess it's cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that he just had to get it out. So.
And then let's see. After her, I had I supposed to have Lisa Loring, who's Wednesday Addams, but she it's Sunday end of the day. She was tired, so she canceled that one. And then I had Vernon Wells, who was in Mad Max and Interspace and Commando and Road Warrior and a bunch of other stuff. Was the easiest panel ever because it's like Kevin Smith.
Okay.
You give him a prompt and he's going to talk for an hour.
Nice.
There you go.
And everything was fascinating, and so it made my job easier. So
nice.
So that's the ones I did, and so that's those will be going on YouTube throughout the next month.
Yep.
Very cool.
You could all watch them.
Yeah, next year I'm going to have to record mine.
Yes,
I really want to do that.
More content.
We'll have producer Caleb set me up a camera since I don't do that kind of stuff.
Kayla, how was your experience?
A lot of walking around and trying to find people, and I went to different panels. I as far as panels go, I went to the American Horror Story Q&A with Dennis O'Hare and Dylan McDermott. That was fun, listening to them just chat and joke around, and they're really funny guys, so they were very entertaining. Especially like just laughing at some of the crazy stuff they've had to do for American Horror Story.
That's cool.
And then in the anime side, I saw a Dragon Ball panel that had, I have the names here, Ian Sinclair, who's currently voicing in Super, Ian James Corlett, who was the original Goku for the original dubs, and then Justin Cook, who's been throughout Dragon Ball. He's adult Trunks.
Okay, cool.
And so... and then outside of the panels, because I did most of the other panels were like author stuff, because that's the stuff I like to see when I go to
he came to a couple of my panels.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Outside of that, I tried to look for the celebrities because my goal was to get Matt Lanter from Clone Wars to sign my Clone Wars box set, because I got Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka from last year.
Last year, yeah.
I forgot how expensive she was because it's the same price for Matt. It was $100 because it was the same for her last year, and I remembered that after.
And the same too because it's the same thing. It was $100 if you brought your own thing in.
Yeah,
and it was $80 if you got one of his pictures.
One of her, yeah, if you got a picture, and then I
guess that's to curb eBay sales and stuff.
Yeah, but when it's somebody like me, it's kind of upsetting
It's a
because
little disconcerting, yeah.
yeah, because I don't get things signed to sell. I get or even buy things to sell. I just buy to keep.
Right.
Like the action figures you gave me, I've opened them.
Right.
Because I don't plan to resell. They're mine.
Right.
And so that kind of disconcerted. So I was like, I guess I'll try to get them like a different year whenever I see them at something else. Probably if we get Celebration, I guess I'll try there because he might be there.
Cool.
And then same thing with Juan Carlo. He was 80 for both, I think. Right?
Yeah. No, he was more than that because
Okay.
I paid. I think
No, he was 80 for the autograph, 20 for the photo. I
Yeah.
gave you $100.
that's right.
Yeah.
So because I gave you.
So yeah, it was
I gave you
100.
money back.
So for both, it was 100 for the combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. So
Which is not bad for him.
No, it's not.
bad.
It's not.
And he was so nice. Let me tell you guys.
Yeah, y'all got to you got to meet.
She got to.
I
Yeah.
know what.
Because I tried. I'll tell you my part of the story first. Because she was moderating Saturday during the day, and so Saturday was kind of my off day, and so I got to enjoy the con. So I met two of the guys who were in Return of the Jedi. They were
Yeah.
I can't think of their names, but the guy who had the very first line of Jedi, I met him. So they had Star Wars cards, so I got them signed. And then I met Mark Singer from Beastmaster and V. Oh my God, he is the nicest man on the earth.
Yeah.
And this is the second time I met him, and he did the same thing. So it's just him, how he is. I met him at DragonCon 19, but he walked from around his table because I was wearing a Beastmaster shirt because we were doing the Beastmaster panel, and he walked from behind and grabs my hand and walks me over to his table because I was going that way, and he was like, oh, it's all family here. We just all do, and just he was so
Nice.
great. He was just amazing. So he's just the nicest dude. I wanted him to be my grandpa. Be like Grandpa Beastmaster.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I met some other people, but Juan Carlo was on my list. And so I saw Matt Latner, and I was like, I'm not paying $100 for Matt Latner. I like Matt Latner, but I just...
But not $100.
He's not $100 to me, right? He's just not. And
Honestly,
and I had a card from the Mandalorian, because he has a brief part Mandalorian, and I was like, because I'm building that set of custom cards. And so I was
Right.
But $100, 100, I can't...
He's
like-
proud of himself, isn't he?
Right.
well, that's not him though. That's his agent.
Yeah,
And I think all the agents agree on the price because, like I said, Ashley was the same. I
Yeah.
think all of them have that agreement of the same price.
but Ashley can carry that price.
I don't know. I don't know.
mean, she's
If Ashley can, then Matt can because Matt's the best Anakin we've ever had.
Yeah, but I think overall, here's the thing. I think Ashley's more popular. She's carried over more series.
she is. She's carried
But-
over more series, and
but that's-
she's very active with her
Well,
fan base.
That's
like,
also
very
technically that's not Matt's fault though because his character is
no.
Vader later on.
No, I'm not blaming him. I just want to set it in reality. He's not as bad as some look. I've been to some cons where there's Bill Smith, who was a Gamorrean.
Yeah.
And he's in the suit, and he's charging $60 to sign the. And I was
Right.
like, you were in the pig suit. I don't know if you were actually the guy in the pig suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prove it.
Prove you're right. And then again, you're a $25 autograph at best.
Right,
And you're in a half a scene of it's not
right.
it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But as a fan, it's frustrating. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like sometimes you're just
Autographs are expensive, though.
They are.
Yeah.
They are, and but you are. Most people pay to get to the con.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of cost into it, and you have to be choosy. And
Right.
after a while, it gets annoying.
Yeah.
It's just. And just the smaller guys, I get
Yeah.
Juan Carlo is definitely an $80 autograph.
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
not just in Mandalorian. He's Gus Fring. He's had a
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's had
everything.
He's had a prolific career.
Yeah. Well, and while Matt Lanter's had a prolific career as a visual actor, a lot of people don't know those roles.
Yeah, but he didn't not nearly as
No.
much.
I
as
don't
Juan
know
Carlo.
at all.
No.
What's his name again?
Matt Latner.
I don't know if I know him. I'm gonna have to.
He's done other stuff. It's just stuff that not everybody
Right,
knows about.
exactly. Don't get me wrong. I think $100 was too much. 60 was fine. I think 60 is a good for him.
Yeah.
But that's.
But once again, I think that comes down to what they
absolutely.
were told to put it
So
at.
again, I wasn't gonna get that, and so I was headed up to Juan Carlo. They'd put some celebrities on the third level this time. On the
Yeah,
fifth
they
floor.
had George there.
George Takei was there. By the end of the day, I had Sid Whitmire and a bunch of other
Yeah.
people up there. But Juan Carlos. So I get in line, and so I have a VIP pass, and so I'm going to I got in the VIP line, and then the volunteer knocked me out of the line saying, "Hey, Juan Carlos is going to go on break. Come back in an hour and a half." And I said, "No problem." Went and saw some.
Oh, I was in a movie with Matt Latner.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
Which one?
USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
in that movie.
He was probably a bit
maybe because he looked familiar.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
does that mean I can charge $80 or $100 for my autograph?
absolutely. So I leave. I see a bunch of my friends. Hey, Jenny. And went looking for Emily. Emily
Yeah.
Carlin, who's our friend and artist. She's all kinds of. Emily swore she was there. Could not find her. Talked to her Tuesday. She showed me a picture of her booth. I must have walked past it twice.
I didn't see her. Was she in
I
the
didn't
normal
see-
artist alley?
Yeah, she's in the artist
I
alley.
didn't see her
I didn't see her either.
I walked it.
I walked it twice looking for her.
Yeah.
And there's no cell phone service in there.
I
so- no,
literally
you
was
can't.
looking for her too,
Yeah.
thinking,
I
I
hate
might
that I
know
missed
somebody
her.
up here, but
Yeah.
didn't
So I come back an hour and a half later, and you get back in line, and the guy kicks me out of the line again, saying Juan Carlo didn't go on break. He's about to go on break now.
Oh, God. So you could have stayed.
And I'm
there.
like, I can't wait 3 hours. I've got to go do your panel.
Yeah.
And so I gave you money
Yeah.
and you went. And then you had this amazing experience.
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
But let me tell you. So that's the first thing I did was go take care of that, and because I wanted a couple of autographs too.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I love about teaming up with Scotty on these things, because I collect photographs, not autographs.
Yeah.
So when we're together, we'll go up together and get the combo package, and
Right. Mhm. I get the autograph
he gets the autograph, and I'll get the photograph. And so this worked out fine. So he gave me the money for the autograph, and I'm like, okay, I'll get the combo, and I had my VIP pass, so got up, pretty close in line, and this guy's line literally was 3
Yeah.
rows deep.
Every time I saw the line, it was
Yeah, I mean
crazy.
it's long. It's a long line. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be pretty quick. He's not gonna. It's going to be. And he was, you could see him, and I'm like, smiling. I'm like, oh, he'll smile, sign, and take the picture and send me on my way. The man stopped what he was doing, grabbed my hand, thanked me for coming, let me gush all over him, which I did. Just amazing. Had a conversation, came around, put his arm around me. We took the pictures. Everything was very, nothing was rushed.
Yeah.
It was just it was a moment.
Well,
And
yeah.
I was watching, he was giving everyone a moment, which was amazing to me. Because he doesn't have to. He can
No.
be polite
Yeah.
and sign
Like it didn't have
autographs.
to be that way. But,
No, I've been,
And you can tell he enjoys what he does though because of stuff like that. And even in interviews, you can tell that he loves the fans. He loves doing what he does just in general.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
and he's so humble because, of course I went on, as an actor, I went on and on about his acting, and he's just, how brilliant he is, and everything I've watched him in is just, his performance has always been like right on. And he's sat and he says, he says, thank you for saying that. He says, every day is, I'm learning something new. I'm still learning, you never stop learning.
Yep.
And it just was super nice. Oh. So really cool.
yeah.
This is my not jelly face.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
And then one of my other
Hopefully you'll be at Celebration. It'll make it better.
Yeah.
one of my other favorite actors was Donald Logue, which I've always loved. He was in Blade,
Gotham.
Gotham, yeah.
and
I like him in Gotham.
And the Vampires. What am I thinking? Vikings,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
yep.
is one of my favorite series. Grounded for Life. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I remember
that?
Grounded for
Used to
Life.
love that show.
Terriers.
Yeah, so it's so many things. So I've always wanted to get photo with him, and he was also so nice and looks good. He looks like he's lost weight and he's gotten in shape, because he's always had kind of a dad bod,
Right,
which
yeah.
has been fine. It works for him
worked, yeah.
and everything that he's ever done. But he looks like he's getting in shape for something. So looks really good. And I met Mars Singer, had a lovely experience with him. And after about that, it was just so crowded that I
Yeah.
started getting a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because it was a mess.
Yeah,
And I will say
that's where I want to kind of go with it too, because
there was just so many people.
My one complaint is how they organize the celebrities. Because poor Lou is the one I'm really going to point to. Is they did Lou dirty. He was on the.
Oh, that was awful.
He was on the floor, the vendor floor.
That
Lou
was
Ferrigno.
awful on the vendor floor.
Yeah, Lou
and you
Ferrigno
couldn't
on the
even
vendor
get
floor.
to
Yeah.
him. I wanted to go for Jamie, get his
right.
autograph for Jamie, and
There was a line, but it was impossible to be in it, and then it would crowd the way, which they're always telling people on the vendor floor, keep moving.
the vendor floor is a nightmare anyway. It's a nightmare anyway.
Yeah, and I don't think this is Pensacon's fault.
It's not.
No.
But I will lay the blame on Pensacola. Look, the last couple of years have been difficult for Pensacon because they've lost the Grand Hotel,
Yeah.
which was a big venue for them.
Which that's not anybody's fault. That's a weather thing.
Yes, Hurricane Sally, but then there's who knows the future of the Grand. They lost the singer because again, the singer's being the singer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they had a concert or whatnot.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it was just so it's a little bit more spread out and then a little bit more compact. And the Base Center is just it's not well designed for that many people.
It's not, but they could have had him if they don't have him with the celebrities, which I think they should have.
Yeah, that
they
was
should
my
have
bigger
at least
issue.
had him up the artist somewhere where he had room because you could see he was like. Anytime you saw him, it was just the table and then just a sea of people on the vendor floor, and it was.
I wonder why they put him there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
Because
awful.
I think there was still some room on the third floor even.
Yeah, there's he's got an agent or somebody.
Yeah.
There's somebody who works with him for that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
if
whoever-
Lou had problems with it,
No.
Lou could definitely get it
Yeah.
changed. So,
I just felt bad for him seeing it.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I feel you.
it was definitely a nightmare.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
a good and bad problem is like this is the biggest Pensacon ever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who didn't get in on Saturday who bought Saturday tickets that they gave them
Free
fact,
tickets
for free
Sunday.
on Sunday.
So
Yeah.
they honored it for Sunday, so at least you can enjoy the con. So there's some logistic stuff they've got to work out. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
growing con.
Yeah.
It's just space is the problem. And
Yeah,
the space is not going to change until Pensacola decides to vote and build a new
Yeah.
A convention center.
new convention center.
They need a convention
They need
center.
a real convention center. But
Yeah. On the light side, though, instead of getting some celebrities, I went ahead. I always go to the Bard's Tower at every convention I go to because I like talking to them all the time, and I like to write, so it's good to get their advice. But this year, I forgot that Michael Stackpole was there,
Oh, I interviewed him. He was
Yeah.
one of my people.
and so I one of the first Star Wars books I ever read was I, Jedi. So I got a new copy of it. Got him to
Nice.
sign it. Got the new version of Rogue Squadron. Talked a little bit about the movie that Patty's working on. Trying to see what he could tell me.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna
See,
talk
I'll
about
have
it.
to read.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to download one of those on my Kindle. So
I met him too. He created one of my favorite expanded universe Star Wars characters. Sunter Fell. He's basically the Imperial version of the Red Baron.
nice. He
Yeah.
talked a lot about that. I
Yeah.
think.
And Decipher made a card for him back in the day, and he was awesome. And so I got my Sunter Fell card signed by him.
Nice.
And then he had a photo shoot with Decipher with him and Timothy Zahn and the lady who plays Mara Jane Shannon. I can't think of her last name at the moment, but I have always wanted one of those cards. It was a promo card.
McCrandle.
Shannon McCrandle. And I have always wanted one of those cards. It was a promo card that I never got my hand on. He had a stack of them.
Yep.
And I
This
bought,
year?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
year.
and they
I
were
bought-
like supersized ones.
yeah, they're supersized, and I'll show up a picture.
That's nice.
But $20, which is way reasonable because they're like stupid expensive on eBay.
And also like super rare.
Yeah, they're super. Yeah, they're promo cards, and and this was at the time when Decipher was about to stop doing Star Wars stuff. So it was like super rare, and so he signed it. And I'm kicking myself because this weekend, as we record this, Timothy Zahn and Shannon McCrandle are both in Maryland. And if I had more time, I'd have sent it off and get them all three to
Yeah.
sign it. So
Wow.
So, but I have a new mission to get them to sign them.
I'm surprised. Timothy Zahn has been at Pensacon.
Yeah, he's
several
been in the
times.
past. Yeah,
It's been a couple years. He'll be back.
Yeah, because I think he was there. He wasn't there last year. He was there the year before, right?
He was either in 20 or 19.
Okay. I think I've seen him a few times.
Yeah, he's come multiple times.
He's really nice. He's offered to have his son edit for me.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
He's a super nice dude. He's finally charging for autographs outside of the things off books, which I think is smart for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think he's also been abused a little bit about that. You know, people selling his stuff, like getting because he was signing everything. But
Yeah.
he's like he'll sign a book for free, but you know everything else he's you. But he's got a real reasonable fee.
Yeah.
And I was like, go Timothy, go you.
Yeah, get your bag.
Get your money, man. You made Thrawn. Cosplay. Did anybody see any cool cosplay?
I took some good pictures of a lot of.
Yeah, we went to-
the first night. So they had their little
Gallery night.
Very similar to Mobile's. You know, we have our
Art walk.
So they have theirs every year, similar. It's always every Friday.
It's once a month.
It's always the Friday of Pensacon too. So that works out. So we went to some restaurants, took some pictures of some cool cosplayers that we saw.
So, you think he's anything stand out?
I got a really good Red Skull. I really liked the shot that I got for that.
Cool.
Because they gave a really cool pose. It was.
There were several Mandos.
Yeah, several Mandos.
that was the thing this year. I think.
Mando was
It was big.
There were some Bobas and
a lot of more armored Star Wars stuff. Like I think last year was like I think everybody and their brother was Harley Quinn.
Yep.
I saw very few Harley Quinns this year. I guess
Book of Boba Fett kind of
trumps it.
Yeah. I mean, I think Book of Boba Fett also is just so recent in people's minds that they were like, "Oh, I'll do that."
I saw a Sylvie that was really good.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
There was a good Sylvie.
Did you get that picture?
I think so.
I think you did. It was at gallery night.
Yeah. There was a family that was Doctor Strange, Wanda, and all that.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I saw my favorite cosplay was a non-comic book, non-science fiction,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a guy who dressed up like Slash from Guns N' Roses
Oh, that's so cool.
and had a real guitar with a portable amp
That's
on his belt
fantastic.
and just jammed. So I got video of him.
And why not?
And
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, he looked just like Slash.
That's awesome.
That was cool. I did see a Kevin Smith that I thought was pretty good.
And of course, because you saw the Kevin Smith and you were like, man, I
Scotty,
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
And
Scotty
so-
and I have talked about doing the Jay and Silent
I
Bob.
want to do. This picture came up on Facebook again.
the black and white.
There's some people who did black and white cosplay, so they painted their bodies like a black and white photo, and I want to do that, but I want to do it as Jay and Silent Bob.
Like from Clerks.
From
Yeah,
Clark. I think
Clerks.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you mentioned how badly you wanted to do that, and then like the next day, I found somebody that was Silent Bob and got a picture of him for you.
Oh, that's cool.
That'd be great.
That's cool. I saw good Loki and Fat Thor, so Floor.
Floor.
And then I took a lot of video, but like this is Mars Singers. They had a guy in a V, lizard guy uniform, and
Nice.
that was freaking awesome because I've not like Vika. Like seriously, I kind of want to do V cosplay. It's just
That'd be awesome. What is just an orange jumpsuit,
it's
right?
No, it's red.
Red?
It's red.
Right,
So
right,
they're
right,
very specific.
It's like a bright red, though.
Yeah, it's a
like
whole thing.
orangey red.
Yeah, and I'm like, I kind of really want to do V. I have a V blaster that I bought.
I can get that big 80s wig, look like the chick.
You can be
the
Diana.
brown wig,
You
yeah.
can be Diana.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, where that plastic vinyl V thing goes straight
Yeah.
down her. Yeah, just
To my hoo-ha.
yeah. Well, V the series is on Tubi. And I've been watching it. So
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
So guilty pleasures. But yeah, there's a lot of great cosplay
Yeah.
and just
I didn't do the bar hopping, Pensacon.
Not as much, yeah.
Not as much this year because, Friday night our panel was late.
yeah.
So we went.
We did the walk and then
Yeah, we did the art walk. We did go during the day to Perfect Plane
Yeah, Perfect
Brewing
Plane.
Company because they did the
they had Star Wars theme.
Star Wars theme. So I wanted to check that out, and it looked pretty cool in there. They did a good job with their decor.
And they
They're
had,
the
like-
ones that did the Walking Dead
Right,
the year
right.
of the pudding on the
yeah.
So we had a drink there, and then
We ate at World of Beer.
we went to World of Beer.
Which we couldn't get Jonna's kid in.
That was so frustrating because there were kids sitting right there at the
Yeah.
table, but I didn't know there's a time limit that you could bring kids in.
it's a restaurant in my opinion. Like if there's food that you're selling,
or just on the patio, it's right there across from the pizza place.
I get not letting them sit at the bar, but like,
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But didn't really do except for Saturday night. We did go to the Fish House.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah,
That was fun. So
They
we
were all
did,
very
we
Harry Potter.
did the Star Trek
Well, we did Star
bar
Trek first.
Yeah.
first for our appetizers and drinks, and then went to the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And they always do such a great job with their decor.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They had the little floating candles.
So, yeah.
and-
Yeah, and all the staff were in costume and good costume.
Yeah,
not-
same thing
not
with the
cheesy.
Star Trek one. We had a really nice bartender.
He
Yeah.
smiled more than any Vulcan I've ever seen in my life.
maybe it was half Romulan.
He was probably half
Yeah.
Romulan or something.
But
It was great.
Pensacon is my favorite convention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
it's-
too.
it's fun.
And not because I have the. I mean, look, we have a good relationship with it. We've done like so. We did. I'm gonna talk about this before I get all mushy about it. But we did 2 shows of our own. We did our game show, and which was really fun.
Yep.
And
I
then-
love our game show.
And then we did.
I didn't like the time slot we
Yeah,
had.
we did the
I
Beastmaster.
didn't like the time high slot we had. And then
It
we
worked
did-
out though.
It worked out fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we did Call Movie Cantina Live. We did the Beastmaster, which should be airing soon, which was fun.
It was fun.
We had a blast doing that.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Pensacon's my favorite convention. It's it has the benefits of being local, but it's grown into this. They get great guests. The cosplay is amazing, and everyone's kind of a delight.
Yeah.
It's just like
I've only had one bad experience as far as guests go there, but
who
that's the Michael Dorn experience.
you did not have that there.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
No, was it? That was at Dragon Con?
That was at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had the negative experience with Michael Dorn and Pensacon.
Pensacon.
Yeah.
I knew one of us did. I couldn't remember.
And-
We got yelled at by Michael Rooker this year.
oh, that's right. We did get yelled at by Michael Rooker. I forgot about that. Caleb and I went Saturday. We took a lift from where we had parked to the convention center, and the lift driver dropped us off up front where they were told to. But Rooker and his driver were behind, and Rooker was like, "Don't let him off there." I don't know if he was half joking or serious.
Yeah, like it was hard to tell, but
It's hard to tell,
it was still a great. It's still a great like
yeah,
memorable
yeah.
moment.
So I'm like, I've been yelled at by Michael Rooker. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
That's nice.
Checked it off my bucket list.
I love Michael Rooker.
Pensacon is going to happen 20. They've announced dates. It's I think it's a week earlier.
It's
Okay.
less in February, but a week
Yeah, I think
earlier.
it's a
than
week
this.
earlier. Yeah.
They
Which-
keep moving it, man.
which is good for me because I have a wedding to go to, so it's the
Ooh.
week before the wedding.
Oh, good.
So now I can do both.
There you go.
I just hope I have to look at my Mardi Gras calendar. I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't land on the same weekend
Right.
as my ride
Yeah.
again, because that was so frustrating. Just because I'd been out of town for the whole weekend and coming back and having to basically repack to stay downtown for the ride and the ball and all of that. It was just a lot. It was too much. It was too much.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but it was too. I'll do it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
And I definitely want to moderate
I get it.
again.
That's a lot of stress.
Do you hear me, Pensacon? I want to moderate again.
Steve, we're going to moderate for you. I want to stay in the Museum of Commerce. I like it so much.
That was
I
nice.
I like the others, but I also enjoyed the big stage. Just letting you know.
She's ready to move up.
Stage. I'm ready to move up. I'm ready to move up.
Anything else, guys? I think this was a good recap.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. So, this is Sky saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out to make yours, and we'll see you at Pensacon
See you later.
2023.
See ya.
Bye.